ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Good evening, welcome to CoreTV News on the Hour. I am Gift Ogete. The Senate President, David Mark, says activities of Boko Haram insurgents had compelled government to withdraw its peacekeeping troops from Mali. He made the remark at a two-day retreat on Nigeria's foreign policy jointly organized by the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs and the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs in Lagos. The Senate President said Boko Haram insurgency had become a major challenge to Nigeria's efforts at forging relationship with her French-speaking neighbors. He explained that any government's foreign policy was an extension of its domestic policy. He expressed optimism that the retreat would identify and proffer solutions to Nigeria's present foreign policy challenges. A personal aide of the Archbishop of Canterbury, Rowan Williams, has been working secretly to help free the Chibok schoolgirls who were kidnapped by Boko Haram terrorists over a month ago. A London-based media outfit close to the Anglican Church revealed this at the weekend. Stephen Davis, a former canon at Coventry Cathedral, is said to have held face-to-face talks with the senior commander of the Boko Haram group after traveling to its stronghold and sleeping out in the bush. Other than Hamed Salkida, a former Nigerian journalist who had relocated to the United Arab Emirates, two other people had been contacted by the presidency to assist with the negotiations with Boko Haram for the release of the kidnapped students. Aliyu Teshaku, an indigene of Benue State, and Davis, a foreigner with experience in hostage negotiation, were also contacted by the presidency to negotiate the release of the girls. Davis, however, is not working in isolation, as presidency sources had revealed that he is working in conjunction with Aisha Wakil, who had previously presented herself as a mother figure of Boko Haram adherent and had repeatedly pleaded with the sect to stop their attack. Davis had previously worked in Nigeria with Justin Welby, head of the Anglican Church, to broker a truce between militants in the Niger Delta and the government. The pair were frequently blindfolded and held at gunpoint during their work. The refusal by the federal government to accept the demands of the Boko Haram sect for exchange of prisoners for the abducted girls has been frowned upon. A public affairs analyst, Olabode Osenye, says the federal government had not done well by this development.
We are making mockery of governance in this country. We are making mockery of governance, and our actions, our attitudes toward human lives is so bad that as we speak, 50 days on, the so-called Chibok abducted girls, we don't even know what their mental health situations are. And that is a very bad thing. And the whole world is looking at us and say, what are they doing about it? So, and we continue having a government that is contradicting, saying one thing, one person will say one thing, another one will say another thing, and in the process we have three conflicting information that are not helpful to the people. So, this is a very serious situation, needs a very drastic solution.
Speaking in the same vein, a legal practitioner, Bosun Oshifowora, says the federal government's drag-foot approach to the freedom of the abducted girls is traumatizing.
I don't know what the government is doing. This is not the first time. America just did one. Israel exchanged a soldier for 1,200 Palestinian prisoners a couple of years ago. UK gave back al-Maghari, the Libyan, to the Libyan government for economic gains. So why the government is slowing down on this thing, where the people have made a definite position that give us our people back and you take your girls? It's a dereliction of duty on the part of government. I don't know. the government, as far as I'm concerned, have failed in this regard.
The All Progressives Congress has condemned the killing of the Emir of Gwaza, Idrissa Timta, by suspected Boko Haram gunmen. The party says the development confirms the terror group as the enemy of the whole of Nigeria rather than a group set up by some imaginary opposition political party or elites to bring down the Jonathan administration. In a statement issued in Lagos by its interim National Publicity Secretary, Lai Mohammed, the party says the atrocious killing of the emir is the clearest indication yet that the Jonathan administration has misdiagnosed the Boko Haram menace from the onset. It recalled that when the indiscriminate activities of Boko Haram are placed side by side with other facts, one would realize how deceitful and diversionary it is for anyone to portray it as an attempt to make Nigeria ungovernable under Jonathan. The party says the insurgency has festered because the government started off by not seeing it for what it is, thus losing valuable time to combat it. It added that when it started dawning on the government that the nation faces a serious problem, it responded by seeking to make political gains out of it. APC restated its demand for a national security conference as different from a gathering of all political parties to help forge a common front against Boko Haram. Prelate of the Methodist Church of Trinity, Lagos, Samuel Kanuche, has prescribed divine help as a solution to incessant insurgent attacks on the country. He urged Nigerians to pray ceaselessly so that peace and tranquility can return to the country. Olajumoke Olatunji has more.
As Nigerians continue to groan under the pain of incessant terror attacks, religious leaders have continued to harp on the need for Nigerians to be closer to God through fervent prayers. The prelate of Methodist Church of Trinity, Lagos, Samuel Kanu Uche, admonishes that the government should be God-fearing and all citizens in the country should embrace godliness. According to Uche, politicians should always seek the face of God while contesting for political positions.
We are overwhelmed, we're depressed over what is happening. We need God. Only God can intervene and save us now. It's not about religion. It's not about politics now. It is above politics and religion. We need God to come and save Nigeria.
Students of the Methodist Girls High School, Yaba, were also on hand to use the occasion to call on the federal government to do all within its power to ensure the return of the over 200 female students adopted from Chibok by the Boko Haram sect.
We appeal to the federal government to please help us, to assist us in finding our girls.
We are appealing with Boko Haram to release all of them. Our mothers are crying every day. We girls are crying every day for the release of the Chibok girls.
Appealing to God to help us bring them back.
We want our girls back. We don't want them to be held captive.
The call on all Nigerians to continue to seek divine intervention to the incessant terror attacks in the country is still on. Today, Methodist Church's admonition will go a long way to encourage all in the land to place premium on prayers. Olajumoke Olatunji, CoreTV News, Lagos.
ECOWAS leaders have met in an extraordinary session to review the political situation in Guinea-Bissau and the security situation in the region, particularly in northern Mali and northern Nigeria. A statement from the ECOWAS spokesperson in Abuja, Sonny Ugo, says the meeting was held in Accra over the weekend. The heads of states and governments, according to the statements, expressed deep concern over the recent deterioration in the security situation and reaffirmed their determination to actively combat the threats posed by terrorism to regional and international peace and security. The summit also appealed to the international community, partners and donors to continue to support the efforts, especially in humanitarian assistance to displaced people and refugees in neighboring states. They also expressed concern over the bloody and recurrent attacks perpetrated particularly by the Boko Haram sect in parts of northern Nigeria and commended the mobilization of the international community behind Nigeria. 1 year after the federal government declared a state of emergency in the three northeastern states of Adamawa, Borno and Yobe, the continued spate of attacks has necessitated another extension. This is coming against the backdrop of an international intervention over the abduction of more than 200 schoolgirls in Chibok, Borno State. Franco Malape in this report takes a look at the emergency rule in the 3 northeastern states 1 year after.
The state of emergency was first declared in May 2013 after attacks by Boko Haram reportedly claimed over 2,000 lives in gun and bomb attacks across northern Nigeria. The emergency rule was extended in November 8 of the same year when attacks by insurgents continued. Nigerians have continued to react to the incessant attacks that has been the target of innocent and defenseless people.
I think the security should provide more security in all the whole state, especially the northern areas. Because what is happening today is a kind of putting fears in everybody's mind. The common man is not safe, and even the rich man is not even safe. If the security would deploy more troops around the whole city.
Since he came into power, he inherited problems, crisis. And in a situation where there is crisis, it is difficult to achieve any meaningful development. And because it is only in a conducive atmosphere that what you plan, you can be able to machine them out.
Government should come out and tell us the truth. They know when all these things started. When it started in a smaller way, they know how to stop it, but they did not do anything about it because it is not affecting them directly. It is only the masses that is affected.
The Boko Haram insurgency climaxed with the abduction of over 200 schoolgirls from their dormitory in Chibok. The federal government sought for an extension of the emergency rule, which the 2 chambers of the National Assembly approved.
As read out by the leader of the Senate and seconded by the minority leader. Say aye. Aye. Again say nay. The ayes have it.
But some interest groups, including Arewa Consultative Forum and the Pan-Northern Socio-Political Organization, kicked against the extension, saying it was absolutely unnecessary to extend the emergency rule since it didn't solve the problem of insurgency. This second extension of the emergency rule is full of expectations from Nigerians to end the insurgency that is now at an all-time high. Franco Malape, CoreTV News, Lagos.
As preparations for the 2015 general elections gets underway, the leading opposition party in Nigeria, the All Progressives Congress, says it has all it takes to dislodge the ruling People's Democratic Party from Aso Rock. Rashid took up some APC leaders in Ado-Ekiti, the Ekiti state capital, on the issue and filed in this report.
The strong determination of the major opposition party in Nigeria, the All Progressives Congress, to put an end to the 15-year run of government at the center by People's Democratic Party come 2015 is now gathering momentum. At the moment, APC controls 16 states out of the 36 states of the Federation, and it is poised to retain its grip on power in Ekiti and Osun states, where the governorship elections will be conducted this year on June 21st and August 9th, respectively.
If you look at this now, you will know there's no opposition in Ekiti. Ekiti state belongs to APC. There's no doubt about it. We're clear-headed and clear-minded about it.
This has never happened in the history of these states. A transition from a government to another government, it has never happened. It's a confirmation of victory to come.
For states under the control of the PDP, particularly the home state of President Jonathan, APC sounds loud its intention to take over the governance of those states. Former governor of Bayelsa State, Timipere Silva, has this to say on the chances of APC in Bayelsa.
Bayelsa has never been more divided in the history of the state. And unfortunately, this is when we should have been more united. So now for APC, we are very, very strong in Bayelsa. We are very confident because the president has not done anything for Bayelsa State and the state government is not performing at all.
Ondo State is another peculiar state. Presently, it is the only state in the southwest not controlled by APC. Rather, it is under the control of Labour Party, which is regarded by politicians as an extension of the PDP. The landslide victory of the incumbent Olusegun Memiko at the recently concluded governorship election in Ondo also posed a strong question for APC. However, Ondo State chairman of the opposition party, Isaac Kekemeke, dismissed this insisting that the All Progressives Congress is very much on ground in Ondo State.
What we are saying in Ondo is that we want what is happening in Ekiti, what is happening in Osun, what is happening in Oyo, what is happening in Lagos, what is happening in Ogun to happen in Ondo.
Politicians in the ruling PDP have on several occasions boasted of the party holding on to power at the center for 60 years. However, Temipre Silva has a contrary opinion.
You can see that the PDP government has failed in the center. And that is what has really necessitated the existence, the invention of APC. If the PDP government had not failed, then there would have been no need for an APC.
The 2015 general elections will no doubt be a keenly contested battle. All Progressives Congress, which appears to be the haven for all aggrieved members of the ruling PDP, still have major hurdles to cross before the 2015 general polls. The National Convention for the party and the presidential primaries will prove to be a litmus test for the party. All Nigerians eagerly wait to see what the future days will reveal for the opposition group. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado Ekiti.
The leadership of the People's Democratic Party has declared Nigerian citizens as the true heroes of democracy. The ruling party commended them for their faith, resilience and untiring support for democracy since 1999, in spite of efforts by few unpatriotic elements to destroy their sense of patriotism and truncate the process. PDP National Publicity Secretary Olisa Metu, in a statement, says the declaration was after a thorough appraisal of the contributions of the people towards the sustenance of democracy in the last 15 years. He says the real heroes of democracy are Nigerian citizens who daily make sacrifices for the sustenance of democratic rule in the last 15 years. Metu stated that with the support of Nigerians, government has not only sustained the unity and cooperative existence of Nigeria as one indivisible nation where all are free, but also achieved an uninterrupted democratic rule by generating or guaranteeing social justice and economic prosperity through strict adherence to the principles of equality and the rule of law. This, he added, was in addition to guaranteed human rights, freedom of expression, freedom of information and freedom of association to all Nigerians. The proposal by some delegates at the National Conference requesting religious organizations to be taxed continues to receive knocks from religious leaders in the country. The Catholic Archbishop of Lagos, Alfred Martins, and the National Chief Missioner, Nadwat Islamic Movement, Abdurrahman Lawal, say religious organizations are not profit-making venture, hence are not taxable. Olajimoke Olatunji again has details.
The issue of taxes for religious organizations have always generated controversies whenever it comes up for consideration on any platform. Over the years, religious leaders have argued the taxes are designed for profit-oriented businesses and individuals. Religious leaders argued that the monies coming to churches and mosques are from taxable income of individual members. Thus, demanding taxes from religious organizations will amount to double taxation. The Archbishop of Lagos, Alfred Martins, explains that he has no objections to individuals paying the taxes promptly. However, tax payments for religious organizations should be totally discouraged.
Members of the conference are mixing up issues. If they are talking about individuals who are employed by the church, whether as clergy or as laity, who are employed by the church and are paid salaries, those ones are entitled to pay tax. They have a duty to pay tax. But the church that is supported by people out of their own generosity, people who pay their taxes from their places of work and then don't make donations to the church, if that is what they are asking the church to pay tax on, then something is very wrong there.
Let them consult their constitution. Well, religious institutions, are they money making or welfare and service to the people? So if they are welfare and service to the people, what other tax are you expecting for? In fact, the people who don't pay taxes are the IHOPs in the country today. I make bold to say that. So they should stop chasing shadows.
For the National Chief Missioner, Nadwat Islamic Movement, Abdurrahman Lawal, religious institutions are not money-making organizations. Rather, They provide charity support to the less privileged in the society, which ordinarily should be the responsibility of the government.
Although Nigeria is not a sectarian or a religious state, it's a secular state or multi-religious state. But having said that, we cannot take the fact away that in our national anthem and pledge, we try to solicit God's interference by saying, "Arise, O compatriots, O God of creation." And at the end of our national pledge, we said in there that, "So help me God." So by this, and taxing the religious body, religious organization, the mosque and the churches is the refuge for the poor and all and sundry. It's whatever that comes in. So how do you now measure it?
The idea that religious organizations in the country should be taxed stems out the fact that many leaders of religious organizations live ostentatious lifestyles, flaunting their wealth around. However, some of them have put up the arguments that the governments in the country have no moral justification to demand taxes from religious bodies, since they have not justified the taxes they have collected over the years. Olajumoke Olatunji, CoreTV News, Lagos.
It is CoreTV News on the hour. We'll take a break. Stay with us.
CoreTV News presents a platform with presence in over 30 states of the Federation. Be sure to be had. For live coverage of events, we have the capacity to deliver from anywhere in Nigeria and beyond. Contact us now on 0803-471-8550 or 0803-724-9733, 014-533-407.
Our 24-hour news station.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digit 360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
It's good to have you. Stay tuned. This is CoreTV News on the hour. For more information on our programs and our news, you can visit our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/CoreTVNews. You can also follow us on Twitter at CoreTVNewsNG. And also on YouTube, www.youtube.com/CoreTV_News. Spain's King Juan Carlos has officially announced his decision to abdicate the throne to allow for the renewal of the monarchy, thereby ending a 4-decade rule marred by recent scandals. In a televised broadcast to the nation, the king stated that he is abdicating the throne of Spain to open up a better future, which will correct past mistakes. He's living in favor of his son, Prince Philip, ending a 39-year reign that ushered in democracy but was later battered by royal scandals. The 76-year-old monarch, crowned in November 1975 after the death of General Francisco Franco, is stepping down, dogged by health woes and with his popularity deeply eroded by scandals. A solar-powered plane that will be taken on a round-the-world journey in 2015 has made its inaugural flight. The Solar Impulse 2 vehicle lifted off from Payerne Airfield in Switzerland at just about 3:35 GMT, returning 2 hours later. It is a larger, upgraded version of the aircraft that flew across America last year with adventurers Bertha Pickett and Andre Boschebeg at the controls. For this maiden flight, test pilot Marcus Schredel was in the cockpit. He climbed to just about 6,000 feet, conducting a number of maneuvers to prove the handling of the aircraft. Schredel reported some early vibrations, but overall the mission outcome appeared very positive. The carbon fiber aircraft has a huge wingspan, which at 72 meters is wider than a Boeing 747 jet, and yet the vehicle weighs only 2.3 tons. The tops of the wings are covered by 17,000 solar cells, which drive 4 brushless electric motors at speeds of up to 140 km per hour. During the day, the solar cells will recharge lithium batteries, which can then be used to keep the plane's propellers turning through the night. And that's news for this hour. Thank you for watching. Join us again. I am Gift Ogete. Good evening.